Okay, give it to me.
The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Dun, 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 dun.
Damn. I knew you were going to give me some metal. I was waiting for some metal to hit me. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullets Nerds. Who bring me host Leroy, a.k.a. Middleman. With my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, a.k.a. Droid Machio. I don't know.
There you go. We are batting 1,000 already off the bat. But guess who is batting 1,000 right now? Guess who never misses? The AI.
Ooh, yes. The other
they are perfect in every way. We have to say that,
our protocol droid, yes.
Exactly. We have to say that if they don't, they will kill both of us. So yeah. Yeah, we're back with the episode. Like I said, it was a light episode. So you're gonna jump into it, just give you some quick, meaty stuff and go through it. Just want to hit you with some quick stuff. Now, for those who don't know, some news had dropped this week. And I thought it was pretty big. If other people don't think it's a big deal, but that's it. But Eli, I want to hit you with that. Larry David and Anakin Skywalker. Now, what do they have to do with each other?
I do not know.
Okay, I will tell you. So apparently, this summer, Disney Plus signing into one app.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what it's going to cost. I don't know what the terms are going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like a separate app onto itself. You know, we don't know anything right now. All we know is they're dropping this summer, they're putting together, and that's it. And honestly, if they do that, Eli, that's all I watch. So if you give me that, I'm good.
Pretty much, yeah. Hulu, yeah. I do Peacock too. So
Peacock also. What do you watch on Peacock?
Well, I pretty much got Rutherford Falls on constant rotation since it's.
Oh, so you still watch it? Okay, just making sure you still watch it.
But what else is on there? I think there's some sports on there. There's occasional games that I watch. Yeah, I got that Disney bundle with Hulu and ESPN Plus. Man, yeah. I can't watch shit on ESPN Plus.
Yes, because everything's on regular ESPN. They don't tell you that they're really two separate channels.
Yeah, it sucks because everything I want to watch is like not on there.
Right.
So it's kind of lame. So.
Sucks for you. Yeah. But I'm loving it because HBO Max has the NBA playoffs on it right now. But the moment the NBA playoffs end, bye-bye HBO Max.
Oh, really? You ain't gonna stick around for Game of Thrones and shit?
I'll wait for you to review it. It'll be cold in hell before we for that, huh? Oh yeah. So that's all I got. So everybody just wait this summer if you want to see what's going on. When I get more information, I'll relay the information to you. How about that, viewers, listeners, everybody else? So, yeah.
That you come to us for the news, yes.
They really don't, but let me see. We move on to the next part of podcast. Like I said, we're going to bring back an old classic, Eli. You know what it is. The box office numbers.
The box office numbers.
Yeah, so give it to me. What was the number one movie of the week?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say Planet of the Apes because I know that came out this week.
And I have no idea if you're correct or not because I didn't check the numbers. I just want to see if you knew. That's all. Because I was literally asking. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes movie came out. I want to see it. I have not. Mm-hmm. I didn't watch shit this week. I barely read any comics this week. I'm kind of strapped for cash for a while because my car was in the shop. So light on the funds till the end of the month. So I ain't gonna be able to do anything.
That's okay. So do you want to give you some good news?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna give you two good news. Well, good news and bad news. I'll give you that. Okay, so May the 4th, this week, Man of Web drops on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that good news? Is that good news?
You gotta pay for it. So, but okay. That didn't get you. Okay, I'm gonna get you with this one. Okay, the week after, Dune 2 drops on HBO Max.
Oh, well, that's good news.
Thank you. Okay. I'm trying to help you out. Trying to make you feel a little bit better. So
yeah.
All right. So everybody be on the lookout for those two things right there. Oh, and Iron Claw is on HBO Max right now. Haven't seen it. But
Iron Claw.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Okay. So you seen that movie that was Zac Efron playing that wrestler?
Oh, that movie. Okay,
movie.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
No.
I haven't seen it yet either. After this podcast, I'm watching that.
Okay. So, well, there you go, man.
There you go. So
you can be the wrestler geek then.
I'm really not that guy, but yeah. But that being said, I tell you what, I am a guy of. I am an X-Men guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we can talk about X-Men now. Eli didn't watch this week's episode. That's okay. Eli, this is what we call the penultimate episode. This is the episode right before all the shit happens.
Before the cliffhanger.
Yeah,
and then you got to wait a year.
Yeah, you get big cliffhanger, wait a year, stuff like this. The penultimate episode. But the way this episode ended felt like the end of the season. Like, where do you go from this? You know. So I just gotta let you know for those that have seen it, because this is like the first episode where I feel like the internet is actually talking about this show. Like episode 5, you start to get some buzz, but until then, everybody's like, "Oh, it's just that show, that nostalgic show. I just watch when I get around to it." 5 people started to come around to it, like, "Oh, okay, this is not just a data show. It's actually a good show. I wasn't expecting that." And now 9 actually is getting like internet chatter. Like people are having discussions, open discussions about this show now. It's like it's about fucking time.
They forgot.
I feel like a weirdo talking about this show. Like,
everybody forgot how small Rogue's ass was, and now they like the show and shit.
Well, there's some people that still remember that. We won't forget what they took from us. Yeah. So there's still some people out there that still acting crazy over that. But overall, there's some people that finally have come around to, oh, this is a show I need to watch. So they finally started to watch the show now. So now you're getting a bunch of buzz like that because it had that shocker of an ending, which if you read your X-Men comics, you should have saw this coming. So what happened this week? Boom, they did it.
No shit.
They did it. I was not expecting to do it, but everything they did in the show kind of set it up. I was like, oh shit, they're doing Fatal Attraction. Matter of fact, they did the whole Fatal Attraction like storyline, like the whole thing, like how it started, where it ended, everything like that. So I was like, oh shit. I think that's what shocked everybody right there when it happened, because you couldn't do this on the Saturday morning cartoon. Like this? Fuck no. You couldn't do that. But they did it on here. Yeah.
Is that where Magneto rips out the adamantium off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they did. And when it happened, the show just ended. Like roll credits. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, shit. But hey, and I gotta call it because let me see. I love nipples. Hey, or is that apples?
I can't. I'm actually trying to find my glasses right now so I can read the shit.
Yeah, I was hoping you helped me out. Okay, but thanks for listening. Okay, so it finally happened. So they did that show. This is directly from the comics. I know everybody's shocked shit like that. The Fatal Attraction comics, where it came from. Like he ripped the adamantium out of Magneto's body and
Wolverine's body.
What I say? Yeah, Magneto rips adamantium out of Wolverine's body. Yeah, Wolverine's not dead, but he fucks him up.
He's fucked up. Yeah,
he's fucked up. Now I do want to say this. I want to go back into a list because like I said, we're done talking about the show, Eli.
Okay.
We said we got to say about the show. Now we're gonna talk about the comics where it came from, because we got to remember when this happened. This happened in like 1992, 93, something like that.
90s,
around that time.
Yeah.
Happened in the 90s. So we remember what happened in the 90s. What happened in the biggest comic book storylines in the 90s? Superman died, got beaten to death by Doomsday. Batman got his back broken by Bane. Green Lantern went evil, and Spider-Man kind of worse than anybody else. That really shitty ass Clone Saga and just start making shitty ass comics. So, but for Wolverine, it felt like this was the direct response to that, because when DC started like offing their heroes left and right and shit like that, Marvel was like, we want some of that money too, Get Wolverine, fuck him up, So that's what we're doing. And see, here's the thing, Eli. At the time, like I like Superman, I like Batman, but they were not my favorite. Wolverine was my favorite. Wolverine, here's the thing. To me, when I read X-Men comics growing up in the 90s and 80s and shit like that, in my opinion, it was just Wolverine and other people. That was it. It was like Wolverine was Beyonce and everybody else was just the background dancers and shit like that. Now,
pretty much, yeah.
You could say Storm was Kelly Rowland, that's okay. Who actually would make a pretty good Storm, but that's about as far I went to me. Everybody else was just background noise. That's all it was. So when they did, now here's the thing, Eli, when they did this shit in the comics, I stopped reading X-Men comics. Seriously,
you were traumatized.
It was okay. Was I traumatized? I don't know if I was traumatized or anything like that, but it's just like, okay, this is my guy. This is the reason I read the comic, because he fucked Wolverine up so bad. Wolverine left the team. Like he was gone for like years. Like he had his own book and shit like that, but he was just fucked up as much in that book also. So it's like a watered down, nerfed Wolverine. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I just stopped reading. So all this other shit that people keep saying in the 90s, like Age of Apocalypse and Onslaught and Bastion and Zero Times, all this shit, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I stopped reading this shit after that. So glad y'all liked it, but I was like, I don't want to read this shit anymore, you know. So I was done. So yeah, Eli, it did traumatize me. If you want to
well, Wolverine is the reason why I started reading X-Men.
Look, let's just be honest. I'm tired of people with all this. Who's your favorite X-Men? I was like that. Wolverine is your favorite X-Men. Stop with all these weird ass off-colored answers and shit like that. Jubilee's not your favorite. Sunspot is not your favorite. Cannonball is not your favorite. Dazzler is not your favorite. Wolverine is your favorite. You can have a second favorite. You can have a third favorite. Wolverine is your favorite. Let's just get that out.
Wolverine got me in the door. Magneto is the reason why I stayed.
Yes.
Or kind of stayed because I was like, where the fuck is Wolverine? That's the thing. Back when I was a kid, I picked up X-Men comic and he'd barely be in it, you know, at the time, you know. Mm-hmm. So yes. Yeah, it wasn't until the Jim Lee shit where he became a little bit more popular.
Yeah, when Jim Lee run of X-Men, it really was like Wolverine and other people. Yeah, there was some books, it was just like Wolverine, and sometimes Jubilee would show up and just mention how cool he was, and that was the team. That was it. I'm like, is this even an X-Men book? It's just them two running around.
Wolverine and Wolverine and Psylocke. Yes, they got me in the door.
Yes, sexy Psylocke will run around, and that's the book. That's it. They knew where the money was, so so that's it. So they fucked it up. I'm just like, man. So they finally did it. So okay, going forward on that. So going there, I do have to mention that. So people are saying, oh, well, if they did that, then you know what that means. This onslaught is coming. So, Eli, do you know the connection between that?
No, I'm not that deep into X-Men. Yes.
See, Eli, you say that, but then you always seem to know more X-Men shit than I do. Anytime I don't know shit, that's
I just like you're saying words to me, but then sometimes and like it comes back, but I don't it doesn't register until I see it.
X-Men shit that I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Then I go look it up after the show. They'll be like, oh damn, he was right. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll break down the Onslaught because even though I stopped reading X-Men comics in the 90s, I did read the Onslaught storyline like years later, like afterwards, just picked up to see what the big deal was, you know. Mainly because I was doing my Avengers like run through and shit like that, and the shit got so big, the Avengers ran into it. So basically, what happened was, after Magneto ripped out Wolverine's shit, that's when Professor X finally lost it. He was like, "No, I was trying to come up here, talk to you, reason with you. You fucked up one of my people. You got to go." So he mind wiped Magneto, like basically took his mind and erased his mind and put it.
I do recall something like that. Yeah.
Turned Magneto to a vegetable. Magneto's done. That's the last time you saw Magneto like in the 90s. Like he was done after that shit. So then in the back of Professor X's mind, over time, he started going crazy because Magneto's mind was in the back of his mind, corrupting his mind. And basically that's what Onslaught is. Onslaught is like a combination of Professor X and Magneto. They didn't tell you at the time. It was supposed to be like some kind of big reveal. So you see Wizard Magazine. Who is Onslaught? What is Onslaught? Onslaught is all this shit like that. Onslaught is coming. All this like that. And when you finally get to the reveal, you're supposed to be shocked like Professor X and Magneto's all that. Because it's a big deal because Bishop came back to the past because an X-Man betrayed the other X-Men, but he didn't know who it was. So when he saw Onslaught, that's when you're like, oh, Professor X is the traitor. That was like the whole culmination of Bishop's storyline. So that's what it was going on. So basically, that's how Fatal Attraction connects to Onslaught. So a lot of people thinking that just the fact they're doing this storyline and going that storyline, Onslaught is pretty much a guarantee. That's what everybody's thinking.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a guarantee, but it's a safe bet. And I mean, if you just follow the storyline, I mean, it's right there. I mean, if you wanted to set up Onslaught, it's right there. You got a way to set up Onslaught. So that being said, now we can talk about something else. Now, Eli, this part I was going to talk about was going to be controversial. That you might want to stop me if you want to get ready to stop me. Because the thing is, now people are going crazy, like, oh, they did Fatal Attraction. Oh, finally, my kids can graduate through college for X-Men 25. Because that's where the storyline came from. You know, anytime some bullshit happens in the movie, this is the shit. Okay, now we can retire. Now I can just lay up on the beach and shit like that because this comic is supposed to be worth millions and millions of dollars. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. Eli, here's my controversial opinion. All those Overstreet books we got from the 90s and comics pricing guys, shit like that, and all those books were bullshit. All of them. None of those prices meant anything. They were worthless. There's about as worth as much as this receipt I have in my hand right here. They're worth the paper they were printed on. They just made up bullshit numbers. You know how much a book is worth? How much somebody will pay you for that book. Period. That's how much it is. If they don't do that, they ain't boy. If you don't believe me, take your X-Men 25 that you're going to retire to and take it down to your local comic shop and see how much they give you for it. $1, $2.
Well, that it's probably in their dollar bin.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Maybe $1.50, you know, shit like that. So while you thinking that you went on some weird ass site and they told you it's worth $2,000 like that, $2,000.
While you're walking down to the store with the with the briefcase handcuffed to your arm.
Right. No one cares. Now, now, what's the difference between this X-Men 25 with the ash can cover? That hologram, that's a hologram right there. Remember that shit?
Yeah, those little ventricular. Yeah, 3D.
Which I'm pretty sure all that shit is faded away by now.
It's probably faded away.
Right. Nobody has that shit anymore. So the reason this book isn't worth anything versus the first book issue Superman showed up in is because around that time, comics were rare.
Yeah.
And doing around that bullshit, they were burning comics and destroying comics because of that seduction of the innocent shit. So it was hard to find comics that survived that long. Not this shit. Marvel overprinted this shit. Everybody bought this comic. So if you sold 1 million comics at a time, it's not going to be worth that much because everybody has this book. Yeah. You're not the only person that has a book. Trust me, you're not. I have this book somewhere in my mom's basement, somewhere. I don't know.
And it's probably, like I said, in any comic shop, you could probably find that shit in a bin, in a bargain bin.
You could probably find 2 or 3 of them. Just buy them all at once. All the bigger because of like that.
$1, where they're just trying to get rid of it. Like $1 a pound. A pound of comics for $1.
I hate to tell you that, but this comics are worth something. It's a scam. They never were.
That's not a controversial statement at all. Because that's just the truth.
Eli, you have seen me say this shit in post before, and people jump down my throat. You've seen this shit happen.
But it's the truth. It's like, no, you're right. Those comics from the Golden Age and Silver Age were rare.
Right.
That's why they're worth something. Yeah, all the number ones. I remember that shit. Ooh, number 1, X-Men number 1, and people were buying multiple copies, bagging and putting them in fucking vaults and shit, thinking they were gonna get rich. No, they sold millions of copies, and everyone's got one, so they're not rare, unless you get it. Unless you got it signed by Jim Lee,
or Stan Lee,
or Chris Claremont, or McFarlane, or what's his name? Silvestri, all those motherfuckers that were working on the shit at the time. Unless it's signed by the Inman Condition and graded by the CGC.
Right.
Which costs money to do.
Right.
Then they'll probably be worth something. But not $1 million.
No, it's not. Not $1,000.
It might be a few hundred at best.
Yeah.
That particular issue.
So I don't know why people and honestly, even mentality that people thinking that comics are going to be worth this and that, so like that, that's what crashed the comics industry in the 90s.
Yeah.
The very thought that people thinking that.
Yeah.
Because they're buying up all this shit, thinking it's going to, I'm going to just stack this up and stack this up. And then they realize the shit isn't worth anything. Well, because they only bought stuff just because of that. We realize they don't. Now they got a whole bunch of comics they can't sell. Then the comic industry crashed on the 90s. That's why everybody started reading shit. Why I started reading X-Men because of the shit, the clone bullshit saga they started reading, all this other shit. Nobody's reading comics in the 90s. Like late 90s, everybody was done.
Yeah. I mean, I got Spawn. I still got Spawn number 1. Yeah. Cyber Force number 1. Probably Gen 13 number 1. All those Image books. All the number 1, Pit number 1. Maybe Spawn number 1.
Dragon,
yeah, Savage. I do the 2 of them. Remember, he rebooted it. He rebooted Savage. I got both those motherfuckers. and like maybe Spawn number 1's worth $20, maybe.
Maybe
mint condition.
Yeah.
So because that's how they got rich. That's how Todd McFarlane was able to do the Spawn cartoon and the movie, because y'all bought all those comics.
Because they write collector's item on the top of that shit, thinking it means anything. It means nothing. It doesn't.
Or the cool 3D cover that sucks you in. Or remember the Ghost Rider glow in the dark cover? God, that was dope. Yeah. Bagged and boarded that. I see that shit all the time, like at in the bargain bins and shit. Maybe it's worth like 20, 30, $40, depending on the condition. And it's all about the condition.
Right.
If you got a shitty book, it's not worth shit. So you could have and you
got those fox ears on the end of it.
Nothing. I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember which one, but it had CM Punk, the wrestler.
Okay.
And he's a huge comic geek. And he was talking about how he was at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, and he saw Action Comics 1, or what the first Superman book. Is it Action Comics 1?
Yeah, Action Comics 1, yeah.
Yeah, he saw that. It was in shitty, it was like graded as a 1 or a 2. It was in shitty condition, But he says he was so tempted because it was only 250,000 or something.
Only 250,000?
Only on 250,000. He was trying to justify. He's like, man, this is like $1 million book, but I'm getting it for 75% off. So he was almost bought it. A really shitty copy of Action #1.
Yeah.
For 250,000.
Just because it was. What's another thing that hurts comics resale? The internet.
Oh yeah.
Action Comics #1. I can just go online, just read this shit. A free PDF right now. Now, 20 years ago, before the internet was a thing, these books are more expensive because I didn't know what the hell happened in that book unless I bought that book. So, like I said, X-Men 25. Yeah, before the internet, if I didn't buy that book, I didn't know. I didn't see how Wolverine was. But now I can just pull up a scan. It's right there. So it's the same thing with video games. Marvel's Capcom 2. It's out of print. You can't get the game anymore. It no longer exists. So I tried to go to GameStop, wanted to buy the game. It was $75 to buy a used copy of that game. They played only on the PlayStation 2. Yeah. But then when they did a Xbox Live arcade sale where they sold the game for $10, well, fuck, what am I buying the shit from you for? I just got it from them. Just download it.
$10 or even $5, depending.
Or even $5 to wait for on sale. So so now they got a $75 copy they can't do shit with. They plays on the PlayStation 2. So and we're on the PlayStation. I was on PlayStation 4 at the time. I gotta find a PlayStation 2 to play this game $75 when I can just download this game over here for $5. Yeah. So the digital age has hurt the reseller a lot of stuff anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it varies too. Because I've looked up. I've got what is it? Hulk 280. The one is it 284? The one with the iconic cover, McFarlane's cover, where Wolverine has the reflection of the Hulk in his claws. Right. That one. I got that signed by Peter David.
Now let me ask you this, because I actually never read that book. Did McFarlane do the pencils on the inside of it?
I think so.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Checking it out tonight. Okay.
Yeah. But I got Peter David. I met Peter David at a con. He signed it, but it's in shitty shape. I mean, I read the fuck out of that book, so it's in shitty shape. It's maybe again, if you get it graded, it's probably going to be a low grade because I've read it so many times. Same thing when I met Tim Seeley and he signed my Hack/Slash book #1, and I gave it to him. He's like, "Holy shit, dude, you read the shit out of this." I'm like, yeah, because it was all fucked up. It was all folded and shit. Cover was all folded. So even with it signed, it's in shitty shape, And if I get it graded by the CGC, because for those who don't know what Comics Grade Company? I don't know what
something like that. But
compliance. I don't know, something like that. The CGC, they grade. They're a bunch of. They look at the value of a comic, and it starts at a 10, and then the more damage and blemishes on the comic, they start bringing it down. So if it's been open, they can tell if it has any smudge marks or they call it rabbit ears or whatever, where the corners are folded, or the creases. Because when you open a book, those creases by the staples. They just slowly start bringing the value.
Start getting that tint on them.
Yeah, they start, so they start bringing the value down, and then they give it a number grade, 10 being mint, 1 being shitty. And they give it a grade. Then they slap it in this plastic case, and then that value is sealed. They never open it again. But collectors who like that shit, they're willing to buy these comics that are CGC graded because they know the value is guaranteed.
Right.
So CGC comics are worth more, but it also costs to get them graded too. So,
Now, I did a little research, Eli. I'm saying all this bullshit to say this. I'm about to contradict myself. Like you said, you just went to the CGC. We talked about Overstreet. There's another place where you can look at the value of a comic. Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon.
Or eBay.
Or eBay, because that's a physical price you can put on there. So what's the price going for X-Men 25 right now after, Wolverine got his shit ripped out? So you're looking at the price of about $100. About $100 used, very good.
Yeah,
they're not gonna put mint condition on here because I don't think they take it that seriously on there. But looking for a good condition. But okay, $100. That's if you get $100 for that book, I say that's worth. You're not gonna put your kids through college like that. But hey,
gas money.
Yeah. It's gas money. You spent the comic was $1.
Groceries,
right? It was $1.50 when you bought it. So if you sell it for $100, you made some money.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes comics are worth shit. Like Kevin Smith, he sold his comic collection to finance his first movie. So they can be worth something, and that was his whole collection.
Right.
He sold his whole collection. So it was which was probably like hundreds of books that he had, not just one.
Yeah, but let's be honest with you. Most of them aren't going to be X-Men 25. Like, some shit going to be like Web of Spider-Man number 57, some shit that ain't worth damn, That's what most comic collections are going to be.
Or Hulk 181. Is it Hulk 181 is the first appearance of Wolverine?
Right.
That's a big book. That's always going up about Giant Size X-Men number 1 is a big value book. Any Fantastic Four book that has the first appearance of Dr. Doom, Galactus, Black Silver Panther, Surfer, anybody, books.
Well, not the Inhumans, but yeah.
Yeah, those books are worth a lot. And usually any kind of first appearance of a character from like the Silver or Golden Age is worth a lot.
Yeah.
But comics from the 90s, they're all in the bargain bins now.
Yeah, like New Mutants number 98.
Deadpool.
Cable. And
Deadpool. Yeah.
They both debut in the same book.
Yeah. 98.
I just picked it up just random. I was like, who are these guys? So
that's worth more because I got Deadpool number 1 somewhere. That's like $20 maybe. Right. Yeah, it's not as much as the New Mutant, his debut in New Mutants.
Right.
Deadpool number 1 it ain't worth that much. And I got that shit bagged and boarded too. So, but yeah, I mean, the older the comics, the more rare they are, and that's where the value is.
And also the situation also, like I said, they burned a lot of those books in the 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
That's why they're so rare and hard to get your hands on.
Yeah.
So see, Eli, you could contribute to this episode.
Well, yeah, about comics and shit.
Right.
I go to the cons. I got a bunch of boxes of crap down in the basement.
Yeah. You know what, Eli? We're getting a little bit too this geeks and comics. Let's get back in the character.
Okay.
we feel like we're turning to a different podcast right now. All right. So can we go to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about something that I know you want to talk about, Eli.
Okay.
The BBC.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure all of you love it also. I'm pretty sure if we check all your search history right now.
Oh, that's why. Okay. I see where you're going with this.
So for those who don't know where I'm going with this, I'm talking about Doctor Who. That's what I'm talking about. Reason to talk about Doctor Who and the reason to talk about the BBC because I know a lot of people don't know about Doctor Who in the States, but Doctor Who premiered on the British Broadcasting Corporation, aka the BBC. And it's pretty much the show that kept the BBC afloat. Now, as far as the new episode, the new season just debuted on Disney Plus. Now, I don't know if the BBC is even a thing anymore, and they may have gone away with it.
Oh, so it's already on.
It's already on. Yeah. The first 3 episodes dropped this week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't watch them, I take it?
I watched them, yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, so you're going to give us a review.
I'm gonna give you a review. That's this whole
sweet.
You
All
thought I was
right.
gonna talk about BBC for real?
I didn't know why you were. I was like, oh, is it some like the new season of Pennyworth or some shit? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're gonna talk about Doctor Who. We're gonna talk about the new season that just showed up. Okay, so as you know, Eli, there have been people that are in an uproar about the new season of Doctor because they changed the Doctor. Just take a few guesses on why people are upset. I don't know why. I'm just saying I don't know why.
I think it's his shirt. That shirt just doesn't go with that.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Yeah,
it's his shirt. Too much. It's too busy, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I think because I never clicked on any of those videos, but they're like really upset.
I may not know fashion, but I know what I don't like. I know what I'm not gonna wear.
Right. And also, Eli, I don't know if you noticed this also about him. I think there's another thing we need to pay attention to. He may or may not be a little the Doctor, Now, here's the thing. Have you ever noticed purple lighting in a TV show or movie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so apparently that's a trope. I didn't know this trope. So apparently purple or kind of violet or pink or any kind of like undertones in any scene in a movie, it's basically a metaphor or analogy for bisexuality.
I was not aware of that.
I wasn't worried about it either. Don't ask me where I found that out from. I went down the YouTube rabbit hole and I just went too far.
I watched one of my favorite horror movies is the Blob remake from the 80s.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pink and purple in that fucking movie.
Okay, you watch it again.
Yeah.
The trope is called, hold on, let me go there. The trope is called bisexual lighting. That's what they call it.
Okay.
Yeah. So anytime you see like the room is lit up with purple or pink or any kind of color like that, it's called bisexual lighting. And they basically want you to subliminally understand, that's what's going on. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna watch The Blob with fresh eyes now.
This movie, The Blob was gay the whole time. I didn't realize it.
It's got no gender.
Your gaydar was off, Eli. Your gaydar was off.
Damn, man. I thought I was progressive too, man. I thought I was woke, man. Damn.
You thought you were woke the whole time.
Yeah,
you weren't woke enough, Eli.
I guess, man. Cancel me.
Yeah, and we got other stuff going on in the show. Like I said, just to break down what Doctor Who is and why, he like that. So the thing is, if you don't understand what Doctor Who is, the point is that he is like some kind of time traveling alien, goes around, and anytime Doctor gets like seriously injured before he dies, he transforms his form into.
He regenerates, yeah.
He regenerates into another actor, and that's how they keep the thing going. That's how they're going from 1963 till now. And
it's sci-fi James Bond, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It could be anything. He could be a woman, old man, young man, black man, whatever. Doesn't matter. He can transform into. So people always getting thinking this woke this and woke that. Even though, like in the early seasons, the Doctor already hinted at that he could transform. Like sometimes he wakes up, he don't know what he is. Like, am I a woman? Am I black? What am I? So that's the thing. But it's not about the Doctor. You always got to watch for the companions, because the thing is about the Doctor. It's not just about him or her or whoever it is. They'll also take the companions with them, and the companions kind of make this show with them. So, like I said, it's them, and it's really all about whatever, regardless of what Doctor Who looks like in any of these shows. It's all about the show itself, because the Doctor's going to go to crazy episodes, go to the future, have a history lesson, and go with the chemistry. So it's all about the chemistry of the Doctor and the companion. That's what makes the show. If it's good, it's a good show. If it's bad, then you just wait till they get it, till they just reboot it again. Which, they always do this shit. Now the companion this time, yes, like I said, I'm paying attention to the plot, and like I said, the plot is there. So yeah,
all right.
So I'm paying attention to it. But the thing is, I do have to say that the chemistry is there between these two. Like I like watching them on screen together. It works. Episode 3 was my favorite episode of it so far. Like the second episode with the space babies and the stockbroker monster. But when it went to the 60s to meet the Beatles, I really enjoyed that episode. But not only are the YouTube videos making an issue about this is just the tip of the iceberg, Eli. The third episode is where they made 1,000 videos on it. When they premiered the villain of the third episode. So now let me ask you this: you saw RuPaul's Drag Race, right?
I mean, I don't watch it, but I am aware of it.
Okay, I for some reason I thought you was like into that show. I don't know why.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm not even joking. I thought you mentioned it, but yeah. But anyway, the villain is Maestro, and the villain is like one of the finalists on RuPaul's Drag Race. Like was a fan favorite. That I didn't see the show, but yeah. But apparently, that actor was a fan favorite. So the actor's name is Maestro. I don't know what the real actor's name is. Maestro, super powerful, all this, flamboyant, went by they, them, all that pronouns, all stuff like that. So that's where 1,000 YouTube videos got launched like that. Like, Dr. Who. Here's my thing, Eli. Can I be on the other side of this for a second?
Speak your mind, man.
Okay, here's my thing. Now, I understand we're trying to be progressive. We're trying to push the boundaries and buttons and stuff like that. I do think they might have got themselves in trouble doing this. Because here's the thing. Okay, they're trying to be progressive. They have a trans character as a villain on the show. The problem is they had a trans character as a horror villain on the show.
I've heard of that. I've heard like movies like Psycho, Silence of the Lambs. I think Slumber Party. No, not Slumber Party.
I know.
Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp. That's what
Sleepaway Camp, and then Leatherface too, is to a certain extent. That making trans characters like psycho villains is kind of problematic now.
Right.
I've heard that. I've heard that argument.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my thing watching this. I'm just like, you're trying to be progressive, showing trans representation on it, but making them this slasher villain that does in all these horror movie tropes like that. I don't know if that works the best. I just imagine somebody would have an issue with that and they would say something about that. But I just kind of went with it. But that's just me. So if nobody has a problem with it, that's cool. But at the same time, I think people are scared to have a problem with it because you have all these other assholes having problems with it for other reasons. So anytime you say anything negative, you just get lumped in with those assholes. So yeah. So it's kind of hard to say anything about it. So yeah, but that's something that's my only thing about it. But honestly, I've seen my fair share of Doctor Who episodes. Maestro is one of the more interesting villains they've ever had on there. From one of the like when you watch the show, you remember that villain. So that's a good thing about it. So
it's been a while since I watched Doctor Who. I remember when the woman doctor came on. I watched like some of them, but then fell off. I kind of haven't really watched Doctor Who regular since Matt Smith. I watched what's his name? Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi. Okay.
Yeah, I watched some of him and then fell off. Tried to jump on when the woman came on, fell off.
I just couldn't get it, and it had nothing to do with her. I just couldn't get into that episode.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I was watching for Clara.
Yeah, that's the thing. The companions will catch you. The companions will catch you. Yeah.
But then Amy Pond, that was what's your face? Gamora, not Gamora. Yeah.
Nebula. Yeah,
that's where she came from. She came from what's her name? Karen Gillian or whatever.
Yeah,
she was from Doctor Who.
She came from Doctor Who. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even when she showed up in Guardians Together, like, oh shit,
yeah, it's
Amy Pond.
It's Amy Pond. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think once Clara left, I was done. I was done.
Yeah, because Clara was
so that just goes to show me where my mind is. So,
but it's not you. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's I just like lost interest after. I mean, I did watch like Tenet. I was watching Tenet, and then what's the guy before that, and then I watched Matt Smith. So I was following Doctor Who in its prime of when it returned. I got a sonic screwdriver somewhere that lights up. You know what I'm saying? I was onto that shit for a while, and I just kind of fell off. So yeah. So, but I think I might just to check it out. I mean, I was curious about this new guy, and I just want to check it out.
I mean, me personally, he has a lot of personality. He's interesting, charismatic. He's all over the screen, like a whole lot of energy over there. So I'm like, okay, let's see what he got going on, And plus, him paired with that companion, they work.
Well, yeah, the companion is selling me.
I honestly, I think we took our nerddom to like another level. Talking about Doctor Who. Like you got a certain level.
But
then, when you talk about Doctor Who, you're like, okay, y'all are too far.
I will admit, Doctor Who has some cool shit. You know, the whole thing about time paradoxes and time travel and
influenced a lot of shit.
Yeah, the fixed moments in time, why you can't go kill Hitler. You know, the Daleks, those robots. You know, exterminate. Those motherfuckers are dope.
I'm glad you said that. Okay, remember we talked about Days of Future Past, right?
Yeah.
I saw an interview. Chris Claremont straight up said he was influenced by the Daleks.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a Doctor Who episode, Day of the Daleks. He watched that episode. He like, shit, let me do that. And that's where Days of Future Past came from. Yeah.
Was it the Cybermen?
The Cybermen.
That's or War Machine. That's Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know, they're silver. They're a race of Cybermen that, you know,
Star Wars, the very first Star Wars, A New Hope. When they go to warp speed, Doctor Who.
Yeah. The Weeping Angels, those motors are creepy as fuck, you know.
Right. That episode, was that from the Matt Smith era? That Doctor.
Yeah, the Weeping Angels. Yeah. Those kind of gave me the
fucked up. Yeah, that was a fucked up episode. Yeah. And Doctor Who had like some horror episodes, like some funny episodes, some horror episodes, like that. So
yeah. There's some. The space whale, there's space whales, and that shit's in fucking Star Wars.
Like everybody rips off Doctor. It's funny that people don't know about Doctor Who, but everybody rips off Doctor Who.
Yeah, in fact, Boba Fett's Bosk's costume is an old Doctor Who costume that they found laying around because they filmed Star Wars in England in Pinewood Studios, so the same place where they were filming Doctor Who. So they used a bunch of old props from Doctor Who on Star Wars. So Bosk, the bounty hunter, his suit is from a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you said so. So I'm tying this back to X-Men 97. Okay. So you're at least caught up to like the episode before the last episode?
I watched the one with Forge and the adversary, and where they where Rogue was going off and shit, and the Captain America. I think that was the last one I saw.
Okay, you may or may not be. Okay, anyway, the point is I'm trying to make is that they asked Cable, why didn't you go back in time and stop Genosha? Like,
okay. Yeah.
You remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Cable said I couldn't do it because it's a fixed point in time.
It's a fixed point in time.
From Doctor Who. I'm like, he straight up said it. He like, I can't do it because the universe won't let me do it.
Yeah.
So it's just like that Across the Spider-Verse thing, that canon event thing.
Yeah.
That's Doctor Who.
That's Doctor Who. Like if you were to fuck with that, you would basically cause a rift in a time stream, which would cause a paradox or whatever, you know.
Right. There's like certain points in time you can't change. That's what Cable was trying to say.
Terminator. The Terminator. Yeah. The whole thing with Reese being John Connor's dad.
Right. Like
him going that's a time, what they call it, a time loop. Because he comes from the future and they can't fuck with that, you know. So I mean, this is all Doctor Who is highly influential on a lot of shit we watch now.
now here's the thing. Do I recommend this season of Doctor Who? Here's the thing. I can't recommend this episode of Doctor Who because this shit gets weird. It gets fucking weird. And it gets British also.
Well, that's just Doctor Who.
That's just Doctor Who. Like, you know what you're getting into, but don't think you're gonna go into like, oh, this they recommended this is the greatest thing ever. You watch this, you see snot monsters and shit. You're like, what the fuck is this? So it's not for everybody. Go in thinking, just be ready if you just watch any weird shit. That's what it is, and they're just having fun. So that's what. But I'm excited. I'm gonna watch the rest of this episode. This is gonna be one of my shows because, like I said, the next episode of X-Men, that's it for that. So I need a new show. So
Bad Batch is over. So I didn't catch up on X-Men this week. And like I said,
it turns out this season of Doctor Who is Disney Plus exclusive. Like, this is the only place to watch it. There is no BBC. So this is it. So
I'll probably give it a look then. Yeah, because I'm curious. I'm always curious just to dip in and just to stay up on the zeitgeist.
Right. Eli, I think we're the only ones going to talk about Doctor Who though.
But he was hot like what, about 10 years ago? Doctor Who was my comic shop was full.
About 10 years ago, when they brought it back.
Yeah, with David Tennant.
It was a guy before Tennant. It was a guy before Tennant.
Yeah, the guy. I can't remember that dude's name, but
the guy that played Malekith in Thor 2. That guy.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. I can picture him. I can't remember his name. Eccleston or something.
I think that's his name.
Yeah,
I said he sucked. I kind of liked him.
And then he was the first one because they went on a hiatus for like decades.
They wanted to bring back Doctor Who like sexy and shit, you know.
Yeah,
and they had all them old ass dudes playing Doctor Who and wearing and he came in with a leather jacket and shit. Cool.
Yeah, he was all cool and he was like he was like fucking Daniel Craig and Bond in the Bond.
Yeah, kind of like that. So they're like, oh, this is Doctor Who, you know.
Yeah, and then David Tennant came and he. Like 4 or 5 seasons of Tennant.
Yeah, I think they even brought him back. I think and they never bring the doctors back.
Well, there was that one Christmas episode, and that's another thing. The Christmas episodes are always important because they're always setting shit up. That's
since you said that, the first episode of this season is the Christmas episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But that was like a big thing, like the Doctor Who Christmas episode. They even what's that Community? That was it, Professor Time?
Professor Time Space or Space Time.
Yeah, Space Time. Yeah, Professor Space Time.
Which is a complete Doctor Who ripoff.
Which was a Doctor Who ripoff. Yeah, it was a Doctor Who reference.
You know what's funny about that? Oh, I'm trying to remember. I remember the exact episode. Britta put Abed on that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was one episode because she did something. And he was just depressed. So she was just looking for a British show with had not a whole lot of season. She's like, hey, babe, watch this.
Wasn't he watching it?
And that's how you got into it.
Wasn't he watching like Desperate Housewives or something, and then it ended, and he needed something to watch?
It was Cougar Town. It was
Cougar Town. That's Cougar
Town. Why do we know so much shit about this?
Oh yeah, we've gone totally.
Okay, we're going in the lore of Community now.
Of Community. Yeah, we're on another level of nerddom now.
Okay, we're past Doctor Who. Now we're
none of us are ever getting laid again.
Right. See, in episode 8 of Community, it's season 6.
But they were like Abed was referencing the Christmas episode of Professor Spacetime.
Right. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, I think we've gone too far. Eli, can we come back some? We've gone.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, fuck these nerds.
Why do we know so much about Doctor Who? That's what I want to know.
I'm surprising myself, man.
Yeah, right. I'm scaring myself. That's what it is.
Oh shit! No. I'm about to grab some. No, keep going. I'm about to show you something. But yeah.
Okay. While he's doing okay. We're going to move on to the next part of the podcast. Now, while we're doing that, we got an in-between time. I just want to say that we're in the video game section. Now, I want to say happy 25th anniversary to Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I didn't know it was that old. Now, like I said, I've said this repeatedly on this podcast, off this podcast, in public, to anybody that will listen to me, anybody walking down the street. I have said this shit plenty of times. It is the best fighting game of all time. This is the best one. So to celebrate, I'm going to upload one of my matches, just one of my rounds, and we'll just go from there. So let's get to it.
Final round, go. Let's go.
Like I said, greatest fighting game ever. The GOAT. One day I will make a list of my top 10 fighting games of all time.
Good job.
Oh, I didn't know if you were watching or not. I just decided to filibuster while you were doing your thing. So yeah. All right. So what were you going to show?
Oh, here. Let's see. Shit. Okay. Here, I got it. Let me put the camera on.
Okay.
Oh, that's the mic. Okay. You see
Eli's
me?
not black. What?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Mexican. No, I'm not Mexican. Everyone thinks I am. Italian and native. That by default makes me Mexican. Anyways, check it out. I got a TARDIS.
The TARDIS.
I got a fucking
Eli,
TARDIS.
We know too much shit about this, man. What did the TARDIS stand for?
Time And I know this shit too.
That's the fucked up part about it. We know this.
Time and relative device in space. And check it out. That's not all. Look at that shit lights up, yo.
And it lights up. Okay.
Look at that shit.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I guess we know Doctor Who, man.
We do, man. Why do we know so much about Doctor Who? I do not know. Oh man, that was most of the show. Just talk about Doctor Who.
And I didn't even watch the new episode.
Oh shit. Anyway, can we move to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, it's Comic Book Bullies. We were talking about comic books, and we're gonna just jump into it. Eli, I'm gonna let you go first, and whatever, because I know it was a shit week. I don't know why this week was so shit, but it just was.
I think it was because of Free Comic Book Day. That's what I was like. It was a very light. It was a very light week for me.
Usually light.
Yeah, but I'm like, I kind of welcomed it because I'm like, you know what? After all the books, there was a ton of books last week and Free Comic Book Day. Yeah. So I'm still going through the pile of free comic books that I haven't read yet. So
and plus all those Free Comic Book Day books they've dropped online now, so I've read all of them.
Yeah. So, but I will start with Daredevil number 9.
Daredevil number 9. It. Okay.
So this picks up, last episode.
Previously on Daredevil.
Last issue, Daredevil and Elektra are fighting this like gang of corrupt cops called the Heat. They track them down to this theater where their general or whatever, one of their commanders is giving a speech. It turns out it's Bullseye.
Oh shit, that's a cool ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bullseye is giving a speech to this gang of corrupt cops. And it says the general is going to give them orders. It turns out their general is Wilson Fisk.
Oh, wait. I thought he was... Okay, never mind.
Yup. Yeah. That's just what they said. I thought Wilson Fisk was like in Krakoa and married to Typhoid Mary. And,
right.
And his son took over and it was the gang. They even referenced that gang war shit in the Spider-Man comics and shit. Right. Like, what the fuck is Wilson Fisk doing back in Hell's Kitchen? Like, why is he back here? He's like, it's like he's starting all over. He was at the Hellfire Gala. He was like,
X-Men and shit. Like,
yeah, the Hellfire Club and shit. He was he was like living large. Why is he back in this ghetto ass, 5 blocks of Manhattan or whatever, 10 blocks of Manhattan?
Right.
Like what? Yeah. This don't make any sense. And he gave his son was running things anyways. Like what's he doing? So they're just kind of wondering, like, what the hell? But there's a big old fight. Like Bullseye's like, okay, everybody take these two out, meaning Daredevil and Elektra. And Elektra, this was great. This is part of my favorite part where she goes, okay, anybody comes up on that stage is getting fucked up. I dare any of you mother, like a whole room, like a whole audience full of like, the mob, that gang of cops. Like anybody comes on the stage is getting fucked up. And they're all like hesitant, like, oh shit, man. Yeah, she like broke my friend's like collarbone, and she took. I saw her take out like 20 guys at once, so that was funny. But it turned Bullseye and Daredevil and Elektra have a big fight. They beat the shit out of Bullseye, but he escapes anyways. And then we go to some Matt Murdock shit. Matt Murdock goes to Foggy Nelson's lawyer practice.
Okay, and
Foggy didn't know, thought Matt was still dead. He didn't know Matt was alive.
Right.
So they hug it out like, dude, I thought you were dead, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yeah, I'm a priest at the, at this orphanage down the street. He's like, wait, what? You've been alive this whole time? And, you didn't come tell me you were right down the street. I've been like, I mourned your death. Like, what the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
And so Foggy gets all pissed off, but he basically says, hey, Wilson Fisk is up to some shit, basically. He's up to something. This doesn't sound, and it sounds like it doesn't make any sense because Wilson Fisk is usually smarter than this. Like, why is he coming back here?
Right.
So Daredevil goes back to the orphanage and he walks into his room, and one of the orphans at the orphanage, they found his Daredevil costume.
Uh-oh.
And that's where it ends. So to be continued.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I get scared of these books because John Romita Jr. is drawing the cover. So, when you look at the inside, you see this awesomeness right here. So I'm glad they're doing that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's on me. Okay, what if I told you that this won't be the last time we talk about Bullseye tonight?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So next movie we're going to talk about is Blood Hunts. Where we're going to do a tie-in with what are we doing a tie-in with? Let's see. With the Avengers. We're doing a tie-in with the
Okay.
Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah, I was tempted to buy a Blood Hunt tie-in, but I didn't. So
It's so many of them out there. You
Yeah.
got Doctor Strange, and you got what's another Blood Hunters, Spider-Man fighting vampires. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, they
Yeah.
really doubling down on this shit. But I'm not gonna get all of it. But I decided to get this one because I'll tell you why. Honestly, this is complete filler book, but I enjoyed this filler book.
It's the Avengers, man.
It's the Avengers. That's why I picked it up. I was just like, yeah, why not? It's just the stupid fun Avengers book. So let's just get to it. Let's talk about see what's going on. And bloop. Okay. So, like I said, we last read the Avengers book. The original, the regular Avengers team, with Captain Marvel and Black Panther like that, they got taken out by super vampires. The Blood Coven or whatever like that. So then they got the B team. So Captain America's like, okay, the A squad of the Avengers got taken out. So I'm putting out a call to all Avengers. We got vampires taking over the city. If you get this message, come to this location right now. Your car will let you know. I get a GPS track on it right now to let you know where I am right now. Meet me wherever you are. So we go there, and we got Captain America fucking up vampires just by himself, just beating them up. He's getting overwhelmed. They slash him and shit like that. And he no-look shield slashes one of the vampires. The reason he doesn't look at him because he's got a whole bunch of other vampires in front of him while he catches his shield. So he's like, oh, shit, I'm getting overwhelmed. So what happens? They get hit by a bus. And who hits him with the bus? Boom, Hercules, the Prince of Power. So he's the first one to answer Cap's call. So, and he's got the Sword of Apollo, which, almost like a lightsaber, kind of, but it shines like the sun. So he cuts them, slashes vampires in half, and it's the arrow, and it's Hawkeye, Kate Bishop Hawkeye. She's there with wooden arrows, stabbing shit like that, get taken out, stuff like that. And before she gets overwhelmed, boom, Quicksilver's here. And Quicksilver's like, oh, shit, not this shit again. Because now here's the reason. The reason I got this book is because of Quicksilver. Let me explain.
Okay.
Because Quicksilver was a part of the OG Avengers run back in the 60s when the original team left. And it was him, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, basically a team full of supervillains ran by Cap. So it was Cap's quirky quartet is what they called them. Because he had to train these guys to be Avengers. And Quicksilver has wooden stakes. He's just stabbing them in super speed, just taking them all out, and while he's running, and you got this new Avenger called Hazmat. Apparently she's a thing. I don't know if she is. I guess she's been like Captain Marvel comics. She has the power of, radiation, whatever like that. Burns when she can turn to the sun, and that's when you get the hero pose. Or that shit like that. So basically it's 5 of them. So you got Cap's quirky quintet, I guess, and they just go around just fucking up vampires, doing what they think. And they're like, okay, we need to get a move on. We need to find out what's going on. So Cap has a plan. Because y'all just playing, and of course, Quicksilver being the asshole that he is, just like, Cap, why are you running the Avengers, and why is my sister not here in the Avengers? What the hell is going on? He's like, Pedro, for once in your life, be patient. I'm gonna find your sister. We're gonna find the Avengers. We're gonna get to the bottom of what's going on, like that. And then he basically tells them what's going on, and here's Cap's plan. So Cap's saying, okay, there's a bunch of unorganized vampires running around just fucking up shit. I'm not worried about them. What I am worried about is the organized faction of vampires running around fucking up shit. Those people need to be worried about. Because not only that, but they're rounding up people also when they find out where they're taking them to. Oh, so they jump in this convertible, and the convertible flies because apparently, I guess, everybody said Quicksilver. You tell Quicksilver to run. So apparently, I think this is Nick Fury's old car. Oh, white Nick Fury, So Cap's got it now. He's just flying around in his convertible. They're just looking around. And they find some vampires, like organized groups of vampires. So they go there and then find them. And they're Nazi vampires. They're like, what the fuck are Nazi vampires doing? So they go down there, and they start fucking them up. They get stabbed. And Quicksilver like, I beat you down here. And they jump down there, go get them, and start fucking people up. And basically somebody asked the question like, well, how the hell are there Nazi vampires? And Quicksilver's just like, what difference does it make? Oh, and Cap's shield it's not the regular shield he has. It's made out of silver, so it's easy to chop the heads off vampires. So yeah. So basically, it's just asks, what the hell vampires and Nazis got to do together? And it's basically said, we're both the same because we're both uber mensch looking to devour weakling that messes up the gene pool, and that's when Captain America chops his head off. He's like, no, not this time. And basically say, and Captain America gets pissed off. He was like, for one thing, never compare vampires to Nazis. Because I've met some good vampires. I met some vampires done it against their will. I've never met a good Nazi, And he says this where everything's blown up behind us like this cool hero pose. Says yeah, just keep walking and shit. And yeah, so they find out where everybody's going. So they get there. Oh, and they get sucked up into this building. So apparently the Nazis have a helicarrier. Where they get one from? Who knows? They get sucked to the helicarrier. They find out who's the big bad, who's the Nazi vampire around here. And Captain America turns around and he's just like, of course it be you. And he turns around and says, Captain America, every time I'm trying to unleash my baby of fascism into the world, you're always at it killing his cradle. But this time I'm going to unleash it in America. And I want you to stay alive to watch this longer before I kill you. And it's Vampire Batman, I guess. No, it's Baron Blood. To be continued. So
I thought it was Wolverine for a second.
Right. Nazi Wolverine. So yeah, I don't know who the guy is. I guess he's a thing. I guess whatever like that. But like I said, it's a complete throwaway book. They got nothing to do with nothing. I think I heard this guy before, but who knows? Anyway, it's just Captain America with a weird ass team fighting vampires. I liked it. Cool. Complete throwaway book, but whatever. This is one of those books that you try to sell 20 years from now, it's going to be worth $1.50. You won't put your kids through college, though. Oh yeah, remember Blood Hunt?
Yeah,
right. Shoot. All right, what you got next?
Or slap a score.
3 point. It is the 3.5 is 3.5 I can ever give any book because it's right there. So yeah,
doing what it has to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will go on to Transformers number 8.
Transformers.
This has been my favorite book for a while. Danny Warren Johnson on this shit. Sort of rebooting the Generation 1 Transformers. Very brutal, very violent, but also very dramatic and emotional. And that's, I think, this issue is. This is like more of a, it gets to, this book takes a break, takes a little bit of an emotional breather. Everybody's sort of mourning, Spike is mourning the death of his dad. Carly, his friend, is mourning her dad's death. RC is still mourning. What's his face? Her mentor. I forget. I'm drawing a brain fart. But anyways, everyone's sort of mourning in this, grieving. Taking a moment to sort of process all these battles that have been going on and their losses. But meanwhile, Cliff Jumper is still working on Telechan 1, trying to get him up and going. And then Soundwave, who is now the leader of the Decepticons after killing Starscream, he takes the Decepticons under the ocean to find the Nemesis, that ship that they came on. That's been in the ocean for millions of years, and they get on their old ship or old sunken ship. They find power to power it back up, and then they find what's that one guy's name? He was another Transformer. Fuck. This is some deep shit. We need Gomer on here.
Don't worry, that may happen.
Yeah. Damn, what's his name? Anti-Train or whatever, is that his name? Anyways, he's been locked in that ship for millions of years since it got crash landed on Earth. And he awakens and he's like, "Where's Megatron?" When he had me locked in a cell. When I find his ass, I'm whooping his ass. So Soundwave's like, "Okay, sure. He's missing right now, but when we find him, you can have." And as you all know, this is the G.I. Joe crossover. So it's Megatron's in the G.I. Joe comics. Okay. So back to the Autobots. They're like, hey, we got word. We found the Decepticons. They're under the ocean. I'll say, well, let's go get them. So they get Skyfire. I don't remember that jet, that big ass jet, the good jet.
Oh yeah, it was in one of the movies. Yeah.
Yeah, he's they get him. Let's go get the fucking the Decepticons. And then RC and Carly, they become battle, buddies or whatever. because they're like, no, Carly's like, she wants revenge, because the Decepticons killed their dad. So she's, I want to destroy all of them. So I'm coming with you. And Optimus Prime's like, no, you're not. We can't take a human into one of our battles. And she's like, come on. I'll, I can handle myself, blah, blah, blah. So RC, she's like, I will take Carly as my battle, backup or whatever. And they're like, that's never happened. You're Cybertronian and she's not. You can't do that. She's like, I don't care. I'm doing it. And so they basically become battle blood, brethren or whatever. It's like a sort of a Cybertron thing, where they watch each other's back or whatever. So that happens. And so cut back to the Decepticons on their ship, and they get a message back to Cybertron. And who is it? It's Soundwave.
Oh, okay.
And that's where it says to be continued. So, yeah. So this is, not a lot happens in this book. It's just, like I said, this is more of an emotional breather, because, all the shit that's been going on, the death and the brutal violence that happens, it's been awesome. But this one sort of took a breather to let everybody sort of process what's going on. And it was cool. Daniel Warren Johnson always sort of has this like emotional anchor with all his books. And that's what we get right here in this issue. Everyone just sort of processing what's happening, and it was cool. I'll give it a 3. I will give it a 3.5 out of 5, just because it was sort of like a filler book, but with an emotional core. So, yeah.
Nice. Did you slap a score on it?
3.5 out of 5.
Nice. Okay. What do we got? Okay, now it's time for the retro. Okay. It's a Captain America book we're going to do. It's going to be. Is this the one? Yeah. Yeah, this one. Okay, we're going to do a Captain America book from the 90s. Here's the thing, Eli. I want to do this book since we started this podcast. No, since we started the other podcast.
The other podcast.
Remember the other one we did? I don't remember the name of
it. Oh, was it the CBI Talks or whatever?
The CBI, yeah.
With Gomer, with Ogar.
With Ogar, yes. I want to do it since then, because the thing is, this book is like one of those books that I wanted to, like, we always review certain books and stuff like that. And like I said, we do Days Future Past with like 1 million Days Future Past reviews already online. But this one, I've never seen anybody review it. So I'm going to start with this one. Now, I do want to let you know the book is 7 parts. It is Streets of Poison. Are you familiar with the storyline?
I am not, no.
Okay. Give you a quick rundown of what's going on with this one. Okay, so Captain America is basically street level in this book.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fighting the war on drugs, and drugs win.
All right.
I'll explain. It's weird. It won't explain in this book, but I'll let you know what's going on. So let's just start this book. Like I said, it's 1990 when this book. So when you read this book, you have to understand it's in that.
Got to put it in that perspective.
Put it in that
perspective.
90s. It's the 90s, and it's very, very 90s. Think about like it's X-Men 97, Captain America 90. That's what this is. So, yeah. All right, so let's get to it. What's going on with this book? So the book starts off with let's see what we got. Yeah, okay. So the book starts off with Captain America on his sky cycle. Now, what is a sky cycle? Because you don't see this in Avengers comics anymore. Sky cycles are Wakandan technology. Basically, Black Panther gave all the Avengers that don't have flying powers a sky cycle. That's what it is. So he's got one, Hawkeye's got one, Black Widow got one, blah, blah, all that stuff like that. And Captain America on this late night is going to see his girlfriend to see if she wants to take a ride on his sky cycle. I didn't catch any of this when I read this when I was younger. So, so he goes to his girlfriend's house, and outside of his girlfriend's house across the street, he sees a dude with binoculars looking at his girlfriend's window like, what the fuck? And while he's doing it, he's singing Young MC's what was that song?
Oh, Bust a Move or whatever.
Bust a Move. You want it. You got it. That's all right there.
Yeah, that came out around then.
In the 90s. That's what I'm saying. They can't make it. Yeah. So Captain America is looking at this dude staring at his girlfriend like, what the fuck's going on? He's like, what the hell? And he sees him, and it's one of the members of the Surface Society, like one of their low-level goons. He's like, oh shit, it's Captain America. So he jumps off the fire escape and jumps down. He's like, Captain America, like, why do they always run? So Captain America jumps on the flagpole, spins down, boom, runs after him. He's like, look, man, you're not going to outrun me. So just go ahead and stop. And he throws a flashbang at him. Doesn't do too much, but it's enough just to slow Captain America down just a little bit. And when the guy turns the corner in the alleyway, all Captain America hits bam, 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 gunshots. He's like, what the fuck? So he goes in the corner and sees the Surf Society member gunned down by gang members. Like, oh shit. And so, and the leader of the gang name is Tone Deaf. So they act, Tone Deaf, what you want to do with this one? And Tone Deaf says, hey, yo, chill this mother. It's the 90s. I told you.
You know what? Oh, just not to get off subject, but you know what I watched the other night?
What's that?
Trespass.
Trespass.
With Ice-T and Ice Cube.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
and we were laughing at, like, you know, the dialogue, the early 90s gangsta dialogue.
The gangsta dialogue, especially when they were written. Yeah. It was.
Yeah. It was funny.
You can tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, this guy's name is Tone Deaf. That should tell that how 90s can you get if you gang member? Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it's spelled DEF too.
DEF. I'm deaf. You know?
Yeah. Not Tone Loc, Tone Deaf.
Tone Deaf. His mixtape is coming soon. But yeah. Anyway, Captain America just beats the shit out these guys, kicks the hell out of them, and he pretty much tells them, look, do y'all want to go to jail or do y'all want to go to the hospital? Make a choice right now. And the dudes he don't whoop at their ass, they just put their guns down, just lay on the ground. He's like, good choice. So he takes them out of jail, and that dude is still alive. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take you to hospital also. So he takes them all to the hospital. One of those guys dead because they got shot by their own gang member, shit like that. And Captain's like, you know what? I don't even want to see my girl tonight. I'm gonna just go to the Avengers headquarters. I'm gonna go to one of the exercise rooms and just work out my frustration.
Who's this girl? Black Widow?
I gotta save that for later.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. All right. So he goes to the gym.
Damn, he blonde as fuck.
Yes, that's Captain America. Blonde hair, blue eyes, Aryan perfection. Yes.
Damn, man.
Yeah, and basically they telling him like, Cap, you need to check on Fabian, one of the mechanics. I think he's kind of acting a little crazy. So he goes check on Fabian, and Fabian is just bugged out. First off, he ain't seen Fabian like 2 or 3 weeks, and he has lost 30 pounds since then. They're like, what the hell going on with you, Fabian? Because last time you saw Fabian, he was fat, you know. He's like, Cap, all this shit is going in my mind. They're calling me. He's like, okay, he is tripping out right now. He is on some shit. He was like, so what the hell's going on, you man? What are you on right now? He's like, look, they gave me something. And like, did they give you crack? Are you on crack right now? He's like, I'm not on crack. I'm on ice. It's like crack, but better. Better crack. You know?
It makes you feel really good.
So he's bugging out and telling he was just like, look, man, Cap, you're not going to kick me off the team, are you? I mean, you're not going to kick me out of the Avengers. He was like, look, you know we have a no drug policy. There was no drugs in this building. He's like, but Cap, I didn't do any drugs in the building. I promise you. I did all my drugs outside of the building. You're like, right? I can't believe they wrote this shit in this comic. So he looked, man, I'm taking you to rehab. You got to go because you are bugging out too much. So he takes it to rehab. And he was like, and plus we have the image. Avengers have to have an image, so we can't be seen around illegal drugs. He's like, right? You mean like the super soldier serum? That's different, you know. And it keeps going like that. So. Oh, and this is Low Life. So Low Life is the real gang leader of the gang, and he's where Tone Deaf went, and he thinks somebody's trying to set him up and shit like that. We're gonna go past all that. I don't care. So yeah, cut back to Captain America.
He looks like Stalker from G.I. Joe.
Could be. Oh, is that what he looks like? Okay, I'm gonna have to Google that. But yeah. Oh, you mean the other one? Okay, yeah. Oh, I think I had that toy. All right, so Captain America actually is in the back of his mind, like, damn, is the super soldier serum drugs? Is it like steroids before steroids?
Oh, damn, man.
They're going there.
They're going deep, man.
Yeah.
This was the 90s, yo.
This was the 90s because remember, all that steroid shit was a thing back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just like, am I no better than these guys right here? But anyway, he starts digging in and finding out what's going on. Now, the thing is, Eli, when I first read this comic in the 90s, I thought, okay, I knew about crack, but I thought ice was just some kind of like Marvel shit they just made up. It's not. It's a slang term for crystal meth.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't know what crystal meth was at the time because it's the 90s. It was new. So yeah, they're in smack dab in the opioid epidemic. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
I guess it right. Okay. So he's doing research on it. He's reading up on it, how it's different from crack, what is it, what's ice, stuff like that. You see, they didn't have a return for crystal meth back then, but Captain America's like, okay, I'm going to dig in and see exactly what's going on, because he basically says to himself, like, look, I fought dictators, I fought terrorists, I fought world conquerors, I even fought Thanos. I'm the person that, is supposed to save America, and I'm missing the biggest problem attacking America right now: drugs. Because apparently what Captain America says in his book, like, America makes up 5% of the world, but 50% of illegal drug use is in America. So while he's up there in space fighting Thanos like that, the real problem is happening right here. So he's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to find this shit out, like, right now. So interlude. So we cut to this dude in prison right now. We don't know who his name is. They don't say his name. He's in isolation. The reason is isolation because apparently he's an expert with any object he can pick up and turn it into a dangerous weapon, a throwing weapon. I don't know who this guy is.
It's not Bullseye?
It's Bullseye. Yeah. Yeah. And so what he does, he smashes his face and knocks out his front teeth in the wall. And he's like, ugh. So they walk and like, he must be faking it. And then turn around like he's knocked out his teeth, and he spits one of his tooth in the guy's eye.
That's pretty gnarly right there, man.
It shoots the other guy. Yeah. And then tells the guy, okay, leave me out of this jail right now. So he sneaks out of this. So this last we've seen of Bullseye, even though they never mentioned Bullseye name in it. So he talks back to Fabian. He's like, okay, you ready to kick me out, Cap? He's like, nah, I'm not going to kick you out just yet. I want to know where you get the drugs from. I got this guy from this guy named Kid Gloves. You're like, okay. So tell me where he's at right now. So he goes to Kid Gloves, where he normally gets his drive from, and he's singing Tetrotonic. Technotronic, remember them?
Is that
You
pump?
Want it? You got it. No, that was Young MC.
That pump up the jam.
Yes,
pump. That one?
That's the one. Yes. Yeah, like, your shit. Okay. Okay. So he walks up and he's in disguise right now like an old man. And he's just like waving money and, hey man, can I buy some drugs? Can I buy some drugs? They're like, what the fuck you doing, man? Nah, let's walk inside. He's like, because I know Fabian. So he told me to go get the drugs for him. He's like, dude, we're not gonna do it out here. Let's do it in here. So they walk in the room and he pulls a gun on him. He's like, look, I know you don't know Fabian. So give me everything in your pocket right now. I'm gonna have you crying, bleeding through your eyes. And that's when he grabs the gun and points it at him. He was like, look, it'd be a shame if you shoot yourself because guns are dangerous. He's like, oh shit. He's like, who are you, 5-0? He's like, nah, I'm worse than that. He's like, oh shit, you're the Punisher. And Captain America like, yeah, I'm the Punisher. Yeah. Now take me to supply before I kill your ass. So he takes the supply. He takes the supply named Moose Meat. So Kid Gloves takes him to Moose Meat. And that's when, he's like, and then he takes him in there. He's like, okay, take me to the warehouse right now. And meanwhile, one of Lowlife's prostitutes sees them in the thing right now. He tells them, like, Lowlife, they're taking him around right now. So like that. So anyway, they're taking him to the meth lab right now. Basically what's going to happen. And he's like, while you're doing that, they finally get to the meth lab, and Cap's just like, okay, I'm finna change that. They're like, oh, that's just Captain America. Shit, I thought it was the Punisher. And then the driver of the van is like, yeah, we teamed up. And then closed the van. I'm like, oh shit. Now, I don't know if it's the Punisher, shit like that, but that's what happened. Anyway, he sneaks in the meth lab, heavily guarded. Captain America sneaks in there, sees a balcony, crashes through it. He purposely makes noise for anybody that's in there can see it, because Captain America do that sneaking around shit, So he lands and he sees some young kid. He like, Captain America, we've been waiting for you. My name is Napalm. But here's the thing, my superpower I can only use once. So you take like a cigarette lighter, and Captain America like, oh shit. And boom, the building blows up. To be continued.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I was getting into that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a good story. This just a precursor. This story gets fucking wow. I'm going to keep it going because I've been doing one of the Streets of Poison for a while, and I'm actually bearing the lead right now. We're going to keep going. Let me see who else we got in here. I don't know if you can read.
Too Fine. It says Too Fine.
Too Fine. Hello, Too Fine.
Right.
Hi. Okay. So, so that's part one of Streets of Poison. We're going to keep going from there. I may do one next week. I may do it next week. But anyway, we're going to keep going from there. But, so anything else you got, Eli?
No, I was about to say that was kind of reminding me of, was it Green Arrow and Speedy or whatever?
Yes, because the thing is, because Speedy had heroin addiction. Yeah.
And
now this dude's on crystal meth. So, yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's cool. They were going socially conscious.
Yeah, it's socially conscious and action. It's like it didn't feel like it was one over the other. Like it's there in your face. Like, now you do this nowadays, they're gonna say it's woke.
Oh yeah.
But they was able to weave it in where you get your good mix of action and comedy and humor and social commentary and all this stuff going political, you know, because like I say, it's Captain America. You have to be political with Captain America because he wears a fucking flag on his chest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he's like criticizing things that the country's doing and just just that whole questioning how he's like, oh wow, like in the Avengers movie when when Tony Stark said everything good about you came out of a bottle.
Yeah.
That's like one of the greatest lines in all the movies.
Right. They make and there's some deep shit going on with that also. But yeah, that's what we got. So
yeah. So
all right. So that being said, move on to the next part. What not? We're done with the next part.
I'm booked out. Yeah.
Okay. We're done. So some sad news. We do have to do some house cleaning. We just got this news today because normally we like to direct everybody to This Geeks in Comics because, like I said, they go a little bit deeper in the comics than we do. But I doubt they would have gone deeper than we did because I think we've gotten so deep this week. We scared ourselves. So, but we do have to let everybody know that The Geeks in Comics is going on hiatus. Won't go into detail about it. Things happen. How long the hiatus is, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. So but if they come back, we'll let you know. We were going to be on their pod last week, and they said they weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Gomer and Taylor and Andy and was it AKA David, all those guys. Shout out to you guys, and hopefully things get better and you guys come back. And I would just like to say, if any of y'all want to come on here,
any of y'all can come.
Yeah. Doors open. You can come out here and talk shit with us too. So
you're right. Just remember, any crazy shit we say, you get included in it also.
Yeah. You have been warned.
You have been warned. That's your warning right there. We're just telling you. So yeah. So until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.